the way I got my start was YouTube time lapses. Like that was the bread and butter. I was setting up a GoPro and I was recording it, and I would do a time lapse of the entire job from start to finish, and I would do an intro and then what the finished job looked like. And if you guys go to my YouTube channel from 2017, like these jobs are garbage. Like I was like,
Your words.
I look at it, I'm like, bro, what? How do we do this? But these videos, they got so much attention because some people hated it, some people loved it. But at the end of every single job, I used to literally interview the customer about their project. I did a $20,000 job, and the customer would be like, I was like, what do you think? Oh, we love it so much. Our daughter's going to play. It's going to be fantastic. And they were really, really pumped. But I was in a different bracket of jobs. Like I was doing $20,000 to $50,000 jobs. So you're going to get a different bracket of customer. You're not going to get a customer that's making, they're not going to drop 500 grand into landscaping. They're not going to be super high end. They're going to just want to have a nice backyard for their kids to play in that's not going to break the bank. And with the content, you got to just make your first one. The very first video I did, I sounded like an idiot, didn't like my voice, I looked like an idiot, but I just still posted it. But when I made the first one, that thing took me about a month to make because I didn't like this. I was very critical. But at one point, you just got to say, fuck it, and just put it out there and do the next one, do the next one, do the next one. And eventually, you'll get good, just like everything in life.
This episode is brought to you by Hardscaper.com. The Hardscaper mission is to empower industry professionals with the skills, inspiration, and confidence they need to take their businesses to new heights. Struggling with training programs for your team? Looking for helpful tips to build a better company? Subscribe today to gain access to hours of interactive on-demand hardscape construction and business courses for free. Check out Hardscaper.com. You're listening to Hardscape Growth, a podcast for hungry professionals who want to grow their businesses and level up. Okay, so let's get started here with the first question. Obviously, you're very well known on social media, but we want to make sure that everybody here today knows who you are. So why don't we start with that? You started in Illinois. You moved out to San Jose. You were cutting lawns in Illinois. You went out there, started cutting lawns there, and here we are a few years later. Now you've got 4 construction crews. You're doing over $5 million a year in construction business. You got 250,000 followers on Instagram, 280,000 followers on YouTube. You've got the Goat Gang, Mentorship group, all this stuff happening. How did it start?
So everything really changed when I went from Illinois, which Illinois is very similar to Pennsylvania. It's just very like a little boring and a lot of snow. The grass is dry, and especially in the summertime when you can actually work, but in the middle, when the grass dries up, that's it. So it's kind of like hibernation mode. So I said, I need to leave my hometown and I need to go somewhere where I'm very uncomfortable. And that's when I went to California. And California, there's just a lot of money there. There's a lot of money in Pennsylvania too.
There's a lot of money everywhere if you look hard enough.
But in California, they're very focused on outdoor living. So when I went there, I said, I'm going to start mowing lawns. So I got like 10 houses, and I quickly realized this is not going to work out. And I needed to do something bigger. And my mom always said to me, she's like, Tigran, figure out how to do landscaping. Figure out how to do pavers. And I was like, Mom, what do you know? Like, you don't know anything about construction. And she was right. So what I ended up doing is I made a commitment, and I said, I'm going to figure out how to do pavers because that's where the money is. I can't keep mowing lawns for the rest of my life. And it wasn't until I met my first guy, which he was a mason. He was in his mid-40s. His name was Carlos. And this dude knew how to do everything. He could do pavers, walls, chimney. He could do anything. And he told me, I was like going up to him, and I said, Carlos, do you know how to do like this? And he's like, Tigre, don't worry. You get job, I do job. Don't worry. So I made it a goal to get my first paver job. And that was a small flagstone patio. It was like $2,200. And I was so shocked that this lady even wanted to hire me. Found me on Craigslist. I went there same day, met with her, gave her a bid, and she accepted. And I was like, bro, I got my first job. Now I got to figure it out. Went, ordered all the materials, did everything. And in one day, we completed a $2,200 job, and I made in profit $180. Pretty good. But the money wasn't really important. It was the fact that I could close and carry the job out and have the customer give the last check and say, thank you. And then I also asked for a review. I said, please leave a review. So that was the pivotal moment in my head of, man, I can actually do this. Like, I can do this. And then the next job was a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. And recently, a few months back, we finished a job for like $700,000, which sounds good. It was a big job, but those big jobs are very, very detail oriented. And if I were to give a little piece of advice on if to do big jobs or little jobs, I think the perfect like dollar amount would probably be around the 100,000. That's where I make the most amount of money on these jobs.
Why is that?
It's just more simple. Like when you're starting to do pergolas, patios, all this other stuff, there's so many variables. But if you just do like a paver patio, grass, and maybe irrigation plants, lights, you're going to make a lot more money. Very quick, less management, and the guys know what to do. They can take initiative a lot faster.
So we talked about a few questions beforehand, but let me jump down a little bit just because you brought up management and managing all that stuff. So like you're all over the place. Last week or 2 weeks ago, you were at World of Concrete.
Yeah.
You go to Grant Cardone's 10X conferences.
Yeah.
You're here. You're going to New York after this, but you're still running a business before construction crews.
Yeah, the boys are working right now. And the importance of managing everything is really the employees. You got to have good guys. But the most important part is you have to pay them good. A lot of people want guys for $20 an hour, and they expect a lot from a $20 an hour guy, but you're not going to get much. It's just a dude that will carry bricks back and forth. But the most important thing that I can tell you guys to take away is you have to scale through people. That is the only way to scale your business. It's not you doing 1,000 things. You have to hire good people and put them in a position where they can actually grow the business. Scaling through people is one of the most eye-opening things that I've ever learned. You got to get good people.
So give me an example of that then. Like your first, aha, I can scale with people.
Yeah, okay. So right now, okay, give a raise of hand if you guys on a 8-hour workday, how many of you drive at least 4 hours?
Back and forth.
At least 4 hours you're driving. That literally be most of you, because that's what I did when I was doing landscaping. 4 hours I was driving every single day, and that was like the minimum. And the biggest time that I got back was when I hired a driver. When I got a driver and I put him in a truck and I said, here's a credit card, do your thing. That was the biggest like eye opener for me. Game changer. Because now I don't have to go to Home Depot. You guys don't really get paid for going to Home Depot, get a 2x4. You get paid to finish the job. And that is the biggest thing that you have to start looking at is your time best spent behind a wheel or at the job, pushing the job forward?
So today, you're here, you're doing this,
Yep.
the crews are running. What's the management structure? What's the way your organization is set up?
Yes, the first most important thing for me was to get a mason. So I got the mason. Okay, good. The crew was good. So then it was the driver. Okay, getting the driver in line. He's delivering materials. I'm not going to Home Depot. I'm not going to the dump anymore. And I'm doing more of the management of the crews. And after that, it's the office. I would say the office is the biggest way to buy back your time because I'm not very organized. I don't want to sit behind a computer for 8 hours doing bids and estimates. So if you can have people in the office that help you do all that stuff and help you do the bidding, help you do the management, the spreadsheets, the tracking, you're going to get a lot of ROI, a lot of bang for your buck.
So one of the main things that got you to the position where you have such a following is you're constantly producing content.
Yeah.
You've been walking around here producing content. You're at World of Concrete producing, like you're just a content machine.
Yeah.
A lot of your content is really for this audience, though. It's not really for homeowners, but you do run a residential landscape construction business.
True.
So putting out all that content, which is often very entertaining for contractors, does that help you at all on the homeowner side?
Yes. So a lot of people always message me and they're like, T, you're saying that you're doing a job for 500 grand, but the customer sees the video. Don't they get upset? And in the beginning, they did. I got a lot of pushback. I got a lot of complaints, emails saying, you can't post how much my job is. That's blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I'll take it down. No big deal. I'll change the title. But now, because I have a little bit of fame, it seems like they don't care. They want to see their job. They want to read the comments. They want to see the haters. They want to see what people got to say. But I would say that people, when they go search landscaping for my town in San Jose, they would see the company and then they would search my name. And once they search my name, either they hate me or they love me. And to the customers that do hate me, that's okay. We're not going to vibe anyway. So it is what it is. But to the people that see the videos and they see the posts on Instagram and they're like, oh, wow, this guy is legit. Like he's doing video after video after video. People trust you when you just show up every day. Every day you're in their face. Video, video, video. But let's say you are going to hire a landscape company for a $500,000 job and their last post was 2 years ago. That's going to blow the trust out of the water. You're not really going to trust them anymore. But if you can just get in and be active and super informative of what you're doing, the mistakes you've made, things you fixed, that's going to give you a big leg up compared to the other guy.
One thing that you said there that I think is really important to touch on in terms of the mindset, like you're already comfortable. There's people that are going to hate what you do. They don't like you. That's fine. There's plenty of other ones that do like you and do want to hire you.
Yeah.
Was that always the case, or was that something that, kind of like your first job where it wasn't really about the money, it was just kind of establishing like, I can do this? Was it kind of the same thing there? Or like, there is a market for what I do?
Yeah, well, think of it like this. In order to become the president of the United States, you have to have 50% of the people hate you. So it's the same shit. If 50% of the people that you meet hate you, that's okay. At least they have some kind of emotion reaction towards you. It's better to be hated than just be kind of ignored and not
Just
seen at all.
disappear into the background.
Yeah. So to the people that do hate you, there's also going to be people that love you. And the haters actually secretly like you. Like, I know I got some haters here. I know that. But if you guys actually knew me, you would actually really like me. That's what's up. My man. Let's go.
The biggest trend in outdoor living right now is wellness retreats at home. The calming sound of running water is at the heart of creating that spa-like escape. And with Atlantic Owasso, adding this element is easier than ever. Their professional-grade water feature kits and spillways are simple to install, letting you bring that soothing flow to any project. We've used these products on a few of our Hardscaper Showcase projects, and our clients couldn't be happier with the results. Plus, Atlantic Owasso offers training sessions and contractor rewards to help you grow your expertise and your business. Check out Atlantic-oase.com to learn more and take your projects to the next level.
So let's talk about producing that content then.
Yeah.
How do you, before we get into what you're doing now, why don't we start like, someone's listening to this, so okay, yeah, I'm buying what you're selling.
Yeah.
Where do they start for real?
Yeah.
Like tangibly?
The way I got my start was YouTube time lapses. Like that was the bread and butter. I was setting up a GoPro and I was recording it, and I would do a time lapse of the entire job from start to finish, and I would do an intro and then what the finished job looked like. And if you guys go to my YouTube channel from 2017, like these jobs are garbage. Like I was like,
Your words.
I look at it, I'm like, bro, what? How did we do this? But these videos, they got so much attention because some people hated it, some people loved it. But at the end of every single job, I used to literally interview the customer about their project. And I did a $20,000 job, and the customer would be like, I was like, what do you think? Oh, we love it so much. Our daughter's going to play. It's going to be fantastic. And they were really, really pumped. But I was in a different bracket of jobs. Like I was doing $20,000 to $50,000 jobs. So you're going to get a different bracket of customer. You're not going to get a customer that's making they're not going to drop 500 grand into landscaping. They're not going to be super high end. They're going to just want to have a nice backyard for their kids to play in. That's not going to break the bank. And with the content, you got to just make your first one. The very first video I did, I sounded like an idiot, didn't like my voice, I looked like an idiot, but I just still posted it. But when I made the first one, that thing took me about a month to make because I didn't like this. I was very critical. But at one point, you just got to say, fuck it, and just put it out there and do the next one, do the next one, do the next one. And eventually, you'll get good, just like everything in life.
That's good advice. You've mentioned the brackets of the jobs because those first jobs were like smaller jobs.
Yes.
Right. And the content you're publishing is of the jobs you built. So like you're just kind of in this loop of like, well, it's small job, small job, small job.
Yep.
What's your thought on how do you get out of that loop into the bigger jobs? Is it similar to that first job that you did where it's like, well, just get it done to prove you can do it and then build from there? Or is it something else?
The proof is definitely in the pudding. If you can do a small job for, like, it took me 2 years to break $100,000 job. It was my goal, my dream. I was like, I just want a job that's 100 grand. And I couldn't do it. I was stuck at the 20s, 50s, 60s. And eventually, I would go to these jobs, like $100,000. I know I would never close them. People would just say, you're too young, kid. You're not going to get this job. You're going to fuck this up. And I was like, no, I can do it. I really can. And they're like, if you're going to get a 27-year-old kid show up looking like a baby versus a guy that's in his 50s that's been doing this for 20 years, most likely they're going to feel more comfortable with the 50-year-olds. And I don't blame them. So what I ended up doing was to combat their argument. I started making YouTube videos for customers. And when I would send them the proposal for like a $100,000 job, I would send them jobs that I did for like 80 grand, 70 grand, 90 grand. So I give them some actual proof that we can do this. And it wasn't until my second year in, I finally closed my first $100,000 job. And I felt like the man. I was like, bro, I'm rich. And I didn't do so good on that job. I didn't make much money, but the customer was happy. And that's all that mattered.
But I mean, it's true though. Basically what I wrote as a note here is to overcome the youth and experience, or at least the perception of that, you made content to prove otherwise.
Yes.
And the content production is relatively inexpensive, especially when you're just starting.
It's free.
Yeah.
It's literally free. Everyone has an iPhone, and it's literally free. You just have to make a commitment, and you have to get uncomfortable.
So going beyond that, you have like 3 full-time or pretty much full-time guys producing content for you now.
Yes.
At what point is it justifiable to say, like, I'm not going to do this myself? Because, like, even when you gave the example of the driver, you're like, I'm wasting a lot of time driving.
Yeah.
At what point is it like, well, I'm wasting a lot of time editing videos when I could just be paying someone to do it? Like, where's the line?
It's just you guys need help. Most of the time you're in a position you're in is because you're in your own way. It's it. You're just in your own way. You're stuck in your own ways. Maybe you're getting advice from your dad, and your dad has a good life, and he's like, oh, son, you just got to do this. And you're like, I'll just be like my dad. But the truth is your dad is successful for his own, but you can be far more successful than your father. And that's the thing I was going up against. I was getting good advice from my dad, and I love my dad. He's fantastic. But there was a ceiling for him, and I needed to go outside my comfort zone to understand that's not my ceiling, and I need to hire people. Like, you have to hire people. You have to scale through people. I have Coaster. Coaster helps me with all my TikToks. And then I have Ben. He does all the YouTube videos. And I have another editor. But more importantly, I still have to do the content. I just don't have to sit there and edit and get behind all that. But the most important thing is just to get other people that have good ideas, and they can help you plug and play. Because you can't come up with all your ideas. That's too much work.
Where do you find those people? Because it's already a struggle finding people just build stuff.
Yeah. So if you guys are looking for a good place to find video editors, I would go to a local college. Like, what's a local college in Pennsylvania? Like a university. Pennsylvania State? What is it? Penn State? Is it Penn State? What is it?
Westchester.
Okay.
All right.
So I would do Westchester Day in the Life. I would type that on YouTube, and you're going to get a bunch of kids that go to college. They're like a sophomore, freshman, junior, and they make day in the life of being a college student. And most likely they're going to have like 1,200 followers, 800 followers. And those are the kids you reach out to on Instagram. And you say, yo, I would like to hire you to help me. I'll pay you $200 a day and pay him $1,000 a week, whatever it is. You make that deal work. And you're going to get a lot of good candidates like that. Because you don't want to hire a guy that does like production videos for companies. You want to hire a kid that does videos. That's what you want.
That's such a smart idea, though, because they're already proving, just by doing that, they're already proving they can do it, and they can document it, they can make it sticky, because you're watching it. Like, is it good? Is it not good?
Yeah, that's the first.
Really smart.
Literally interview. That's where I found Cameron, which is Coaster's best friend. I typed in San Jose University day in the life, and Cameron's videos popped up. There was a lot of other videos, but something about Cameron's style, it was like goofy, it was fun, a lot of edits, a lot of like back and forth. It was very entertaining, and I was like, bro, this is the guy. So I reached out to him and I said, I want to hire you. He answered right away, and he's like, oh, is this for real, or are you like scam it? No, it's like, no, it's for real. And he's like, I don't know. So we met, and I said, just try it for a week. I'll give you $1,000 cash. Just try it for a week. And we still together today.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a little bit of time to talk about the mentorship side of things. We had dinner last night, and you were telling me a little bit of how it was important for you to find a mentor, and how that really changed things. So, would you mind sharing that? Then we can talk about Zolgang after that.
So classes like this is what changed my life, because I got to see like from a different perspective of what I can do. And it wasn't until I started showing up to classes, started going to events, seminars, paying money. Like, you guys should be okay with paying other people money to learn from them. That is the biggest hack. It's literally the only shortcut in life that works. If I wanted to learn how to become a mechanic, do I need to learn, like read a book on it, become a mechanic? Or should I go to a mechanic shop and pay a guy and do exactly what he's doing?
Growing your hardscaping business in a competitive market is tough, but it's a lot easier when you have the right tools. That includes tools for managing your business, customer relationships, estimates, quotes, payments, and even personnel training. Thankfully, LMN is just that. With LMN's all-in-one platform, you'll streamline every part of your business, from CRM and scheduling to job costing and invoicing. And with Greenius, the #1 training software for landscapers now integrated, you can build high-performing teams and use measurable data to make real changes within your crews and organization. Join over 3,000 contractors who trust LMN to grow their businesses. Ready to make a change? Head over to golmn.com and start your free trial today.
That's the fastest way to learn. Do you want to become a landscaper, a paver expert, electrician? Just go learn from the people that are actually doing it. And that's what I started doing about business. Like, landscaper, everyone wants to be a landscaper, but in reality, you don't want to be a landscaper. You want to be a business guy. You want to be a businessman. And when you're a business, you can have a successful landscape company. But as we know, there's a lot of landscapers that are brokies, right? It's just a common thing. But you guys got to focus more on the business side, and that's what's going to elevate everything quickly.
So how does that tie into what you're doing?
With mentorship, so like with mentorship, all I do is I go and I show you what's working for me, and then give you the formula, and you just got to apply it. It's quite simple. It's just copy paste. I like to say this thing: you got to copy paste what other people are doing, and you'll find success.
Did you find that hard to do in the beginning?
Yeah, because there's a lot of beliefs that you have, and it might go against what someone else is telling you. And you kind of have to like brainwash yourself into getting rid of those beliefs. Like, one thing, example for trucks. Okay, let's say everyone wants to buy a truck for $50,000, like the used truck versus new truck analogy. Okay, $50,000 truck, right? Everyone, $50,000 truck, it's got 60,000 miles, 70,000 miles, 100,000 miles, whatever. And let's say you go buy it. Okay, so you drop 50 grand, you save up 50 grand, and you go buy it. And everything's good, but 6 months later, the tranny blows. Boom. There goes 10 grand. And a few months later, maybe the head gasket blows. There goes another 5 grand. So now you're in the truck 65 grand. What I would do is, instead of doing that, is you go take a loan out on a brand new truck, and you have a $1,500 a month set payment, and you have warranty. Then you have a fixed payment versus 65 grand out of your pocket. And every single time you drive the truck, you're sweating. You're like, bro, I hope this thing doesn't break down. That's too much stress. If a brand new truck breaks down, it sucks because you have downtime, but you can at least give it back to them. And the only thing you're really going to lose is maybe $2,000-$3,000 in payments when they're fixing it. That's it.
So, just wrapping up here, I'll ask you 2-3 last questions. With the mentorship group that you have now,
Yeah.
Goat Gang, how many members are in there now?
1,100.
1,100 members.
Yes.
What's the biggest recurring issue or challenge or problem that seems to be plaguing not just the members of the group, but the industry?
I would say people. People are the only thing that you guys should just focus on. It's not really about what's the newest technology and all this. It's just people. People will change your entire business. Like, imagine doing all the work yourself. That's going to take a lot. Like, well, what can you do? Maybe $200,000 to $250,000 of work yourself the entire year, or you can just go get 10 guys and you guys can do $2 million. Like, people are the answer. And you got, like, TechnoBlock itself, how many employees?
900?
900. Could you do it with 5?
Absolutely not.
There's no way.
We started with 5, but that was 36 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. So there's no way. You like, yes, you start, and the only person that's guaranteed to stay in your business is you. So don't expect to hire an employee and he's going to stay with you forever. If he gives you 5 years, 6 years, 3 years, 7 years, be happy and say thank you and go to the next level. But the only one that's guaranteed to stay is you. But I would say, without a doubt, the most important is people. You got to scale through people.
What's the thing that's stopping them?
Themselves. People's limiting beliefs. People are hating on themselves. No, that's not the right way to do it. I want to get a guy. I go hire a new guy, and he doesn't show up to work. But in reality, you didn't get the right guy. You got a guy for $20, $25 an hour. But what you really want to get is the mason that's $40 an hour. Something that you're thinking, oh, $40 an hour. Oh my God, that's too much money. That's when you know you should go to that, like, towards that direction. You need to hire that guy for 40 because he's going to do so much for you, more than you can do for the company. You're going to get his experience. Like, if you get a guy for $40 an hour, he already is a mason for 20 years. He's going to be knowing how to do irrigation, all this stuff. And you're buying his experience. You're taking him, putting him in your company. You're paying him money. He's happy. And you're going to get a good product. Remember, one thing that you guys got to take away from this is employees never cost money. What costs money is not growing your business. What costs money is staying small. So you have to get people, you have to pay them well, and they will increase the size of your business very fast.
Awesome. You want to take any questions?
Yeah, sure. You guys have questions? Shoot
If
them.
you guys have questions, just yell them out. I'll repeat them.
Oh, the Lambo? Yeah. So the Lambo I got in May. This is a SVJ, if you guys know what that is, but it's this was like the dream car. So very nice car. Yes, absolutely.
I have a question over here.
Oh, my hating a little Johnny. Huh?
Yeah, just repeat the question so we get it.
No, he said, why aren't you talking like you talk in the videos? You guys gotta understand. So social media is actually a very interesting thing. It's all about attention. You have to get attention. So if you do videos with, like, this is what I see a lot of landscapers do. Hey guys, so we're out here doing a job in Pennsylvania and we're doing a paver patio, and over here we have a bush that we installed. It's a very nice bush, and this is my fountain that I built. It took me 2 days. And this is Jeff. He's the paver guy. Yeah, like and subscribe. Thanks. That's what a lot of people do. And that's why a lot of people are not getting views. So you have to think outside the box. You got to come up with some controversial topics that you can talk about. Problem at the job site is a very, very important thing that we came up with. Problem at the job site, Jose didn't show up to work today. What do I do, right? The pavers are sinking. None of my jobs are perfect. We still have shit fail. But when things go wrong that a lot of people would say, no, I can't post this on social media. People are going to judge me. That's when you should make a video about it, because you're going to fix it anyway. If you're a good contractor, you're going to fix it. But you can say, oh, we installed these pavers a year ago. and we don't know what happened, but it sank. It sank 2 feet. Look at this hole. It's crazy. Customer's very worried. So what we're going to do is we're going to come here, take out the pavers, find out what happened, put them back, and then leave. You can make a whole video about that. Like, that's very interesting, especially from a customer's perspective, because the customer goes on your page and they look and they're like, oh, little Johnny's Landscaping, they messed up the pavers and then they fixed it and they made a video about it. Oh, these guys stand on their work.
Yeah.
They're going to fix my mistakes when that happens. So you got to think outside the box a little bit.
Any other questions? Yeah.
How much money are you making per year? So the landscaping side, I would say is about this last year, it was $370,000 for landscaping. So, I mean, that's pretty good. That's decent. There's a lot of the what?
The whole company, the revenue of the company.
Oh, 4 mil last year. 4 mil last year. Say again? Oh, I started in 2016. 2016. Yeah. 2016, I was 26 years old. I was born in 1990. And this year, I'm going on my 10th year. Yeah. How about you? How many people you got working for you? 30? 30. Nice. That's good. That's good. That's awesome, bro. Congratulations. 30 people. Like, you know, people are the most important. You have 30 people. That's crazy.
I think everything
Yes.
no open, but most of the trucks that I know they don't work.
On office. Yeah.
On the
He said everything starts in the office, and I have to agree. Like, at one point, it's the field. You build a field out, and then you have to transition to the office and organize. And that's what a lot of people don't do. I didn't do that for the longest time. I was just like in the field working, pushing. And there's only so much you can do by yourself in just the field. Then you have to have people helping you. So I agree, 100%.
Okay. We're going to we'll take one last question. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so he said when I started the business in 2016, what was the hardest part about starting? It was first the licenses, the insurance, all that. It was very like, oh man, I don't know what to do, but you just got to do it. Like, most of the time when we say, I don't know what to do, we don't even try. Like, there's no action to even go in the direction of figuring out. But I would say that and getting the jobs. People are like, oh, where do I get the jobs? Where do I get the work? But in reality, we live in an age where Google, Instagram, TikTok, there's so many platforms where you can post for free and get jobs. And that would be the most challenging thing for me when I first started. Yeah.
All right. We're going to wrap up the questions. Tigran, do you have any last words, any last piece of advice you want to share before we
No, not at all.
take off here?
Yeah.
No, you're good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Well, thank you very much for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Absolutely. And until next week, everyone, we'll see you on the... Actually, that's not how I end the show. I flubbed my own ending. Till next week, everyone, work hard, pave harder, and we'll see you next week on the Hardscape Growth Show.
You've been listening to Hardscape Growth, a podcast for hungry professionals who want to grow their businesses and level up. Each episode is all about taking the next step in running your business, so make sure you never miss a show by subscribing on your favorite podcast player. And if you're finding this information to be useful, help others in your position discover us by giving us a star rating and leaving a comment. We'll see you next week.